Hello friends, this is Pallavi and we are back with a new session on labor laws, emerging reforms in India. So in this session we would be covering labor laws, its introduction, objectives and constitutional provisions related to it. Then we would move on to labor reforms, introduction, need and objective. Then the third topic would be labor reforms in India, and under that we would be covering legislative and government initiatives as well as social sector schemes. Then recent labor law changes which is being made by the states amid the corona crisis, and finally we'll conclude the session with challenges and the conclusion. Labor laws are also known as employment law in India. It's a body of laws, administrative rulings and precedents which address the legal rights of and restrictions on working people and their organizations. So labor laws are basically all about the relationship between the employees, employers and trade unions in the workplace. And we can also say that it defines the rights as well as obligations of workers, union members and employers in the workplace. Also, the labor laws can be categorized into two broad categories. The first one is collective labor law. It relates to the tri-party relationship between the employee, employer and the union. And the second is individual labor law, which concerns employees' right at the work. The labor law was needed because of constant struggle between the demands of labor and demands of employers. Now, the objectives of labor law fulfills three crucial roles. The first one is it establishes a legal system that facilitates productive individual and collective employment relationship and therefore a productive economy. Secondly, it provides a framework within which different stakeholders can interact with each other. Thus, it helps in achieving harmonious industrial relations based on workplace democracy. And thirdly, it also acts as a reminder and guarantor of fundamental principles and rights at work. Constitutional provisions with regard to labor laws. It recognizes the relevance of dignity of human labor and also the need for protecting and safeguarding the interest of labor as human beings. These are enshrined under the several provisions of Constitution of India. For example, under fundamental rights, articles covering right against exploitation, then protection of 6 rights regarding freedom, then we have abolition of untouchability, then the directive principles, they provide for just and humane conditions of work, maternity relief, then participation of employee in the management of industry, also for securing health and strength of employees and several other provisions. Also under the 7th schedule of Constitution of India, labor is under the concurrent list. Thus both the parliament and state legislatures can make laws regulating labor. In India, the labor laws covers 3 broad areas. The first one is industrial relations, which covers certification of unions, labor management relations, collective bargaining and unfair labor practices. Second one is workplace health and safety. The third one is employment standards, which includes general holidays, annual leave, working hours, unfair dismissals, minimum wages, layoff procedures, etc. Some of the labor laws in India includes the Mines Act, the Contract Labor Act, Equal Remuneration Act, Industrial Disputes Act, Maternity Benefit Act, Minimum Wages Act, Factories Act, Plantation Labor Act, Trade Unions Act, Beedi and Cigar Workers Act, etc. Moving on to labor reforms. Various legislative, administrative and e-governance initiatives have been taken by the center and state to generate employment for the laborers and to facilitate ease of doing business. Labor law reforms is necessary in India. We need to remember that more than 90% of India's labor workforce works in informal and unorganized sector. Also, if we look at 2019 figures, then unemployment rate in India was at 45-year high. and this situation has worsened even more in 2020 in view of coronavirus pandemic. We also need to note that there has been near stagnancy in the manufacturing activity in the country. In such a scenario, government needs to boost private investment and improve the ease of doing business. The proposed labor reforms initiatives will reduce the complexity in compliance due to multiplicity of labor laws, will facilitate in setting up of enterprises, help in creating the environment for development of business and industry in the country and generating employment opportunities, and these will be done without diluting the basic aspects of safety, security and health of the workers. The process for labor reforms started after the second National Labour Commission gave its report in 2004, but it paced up only in 2014 when the NDA government came to power in centre. However, there was significant resistance from trade unions, and as such any serious changes in labour law was not taken up. Again in 2019, labour law reforms was back on agenda. Labour reforms can be in the form of legislative initiatives, governance initiatives or social sector schemes. Legislative initiatives. We will go through some of the initiatives of central government since 2014. The first one is Payment of Bonus Amendment Act 2015. It enhanced the eligibility limit for bonus from Rs 10,000 per month to Rs 21,000 per month. Next is Payment of Wages Act 2017. It enabled the payment of wages by cash or check or crediting it to the bank accounts. Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Amendment Act 2016. It provides for the complete ban on employment of children below 14 years of age in any occupation or process. Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017. It increased the paid maternity leave from 12 weeks to 26 weeks. Employee Compensation Amendment Act 2017. It takes measure to provide more benefits to the beneficiary and strengthen the right of the worker under his right to compensation. The Payment of Gratuity Amendment Act 2018. It has increased the ceiling limit for gratuity from Rs 10 lakh to Rs 20 lakhs. Next we'll see the proposed labour law reforms in 2019. As many as 44 central labour laws have to be subsumed under 4 labour codes. These codes or these laws are under different stages of legislation. The Labour Ministry has taken steps for codification of existing central labour laws into 4 codes by simplifying, amalgamating and rationalizing the relevant provisions of central labour laws. The 4 labour codes to be implemented are Labour Code on Wages, Labour Code on Industrial Relations, Labour Code on Social Security and Welfare, and the Labour Code on Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions. Next is Governance Initiatives. Shram Suvidha Portal. It's a unified web portal developed by Ministry of Labour and Employment to bring transparency and accountability in enforcement of labour laws and ease complexity of compliance. Next is unique labour identification numbers have been allotted to the units to facilitate online inspection and compliance. Then Transparent Labour Inspection Scheme was started on Shram Suvidha portal. Unified online annual return filing has been made mandatory on Shram Suvidha portal. Steps were taken to ease the compliance to maintain registers under various labour law rules. Then a Model Shop and Establishment Bill 2016 was circulated to all the states so that they can adopt the bill with the modifications that is suited to them. So it basically provided for greater freedom to the shops and establishments. Also the Industrial Employment Standing Orders Central Amendment Rules and rationalization of forms and reports under certain labour law rules have been introduced. Apart from these, major steps have been taken in EPFO, Employee Provident Fund Organization, and ESIC, Employees State Insurance Corporation. Next we'll come to social sector schemes. The Government of India has launched 2 pension schemes for the unorganized workers in 2019. Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana and National Pension Scheme for traders, shopkeepers and self-employed persons. Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana is a voluntary and contributory pension scheme for the unorganized workers whose monthly income is rupees 15,000 or below. The minimum age for joining the scheme is 18 years and the maximum age is 40 years. It gives a minimum assured monthly pension of rupees 3,000 to the beneficiaries from the age of 60 years onwards. National Pension Scheme for traders, shopkeepers and self-employed person. This is also a voluntary and contributory pension scheme. The traders in the age group 18 to 40 years with an annual turnover not exceeding rupees 1.5 crore can join the scheme. And it's a contributory scheme under which 50% monthly contribution has to be paid by the beneficiary and an equal amount is to be paid by the central government. The subscribers would be eligible for a minimum assured pension of rupees 3,000 after attaining 60 years of age. Apart from these, several other government schemes are there like Atal Pension Yojana, Ayushman Bharat scheme, which addresses the health insurance coverage. So these schemes are there which addresses the social security of the workers. So till now we have seen some of the major reforms in the form of legislative and administrative initiatives and social sector schemes since 2014. Also we have seen major labor reforms proposed in 2019 in the form of 4 labor codes. Now we are moving to some big changes being proposed by the states in 2020 in labor laws. Now at present, amid coronavirus pandemic and the following lockdown across India, the already stagnant economic scenario has further worsened. In such a case, in order to boost investments in job and to revive the economy, again some major changes in labor law is being proposed. Now as we know that labor is a subject in concurrent list and both center as well as the state governments have jurisdiction over it. So now this time some big changes in labor law is being proposed by the states across India. Uttar Pradesh being the first one to bring an ordinance in this regard. The state has taken a bold move to exempt all the establishments, factories and businesses from all the labor laws except 4 laws for next 3 years. Other states like Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Goa, Odisha, Karnataka and Punjab are also on the way to temporarily ease or suspend the operation of labor laws. Further, more states are expected to follow it soon. Now we'll see some of the changes being done or being proposed by the states in this regard. So the laws that are relaxed include those related to settling industrial disputes, occupational safety, health and working conditions of workers and those related to trade unions, contract workers and migrant laborers. These changes will give industries more flexibility in hiring and firing employees, determining their wages and reduce their liability in terms of providing employee benefits. Some states have increased the work hour from 8 hours to 12 hours every day and 48 hours to 72 hours every week. Then some have abolished the requirement to fill multiple registers and returns and instead only one consolidated return under various labor laws can be filled in the state. Major relaxation has been given to small and medium enterprises for inspection in these firms. Further, in order to recognize the trade union, the threshold limit of membership of the union has been increased. In spite of so many changes, however, the provisions related to women and children in the labor laws would continue. Coming to the challenges of labor reform, the biggest concern has been the exploitation of labor. Many people are calling these changes as being anti-worker. By allowing employers to hire and fire workers more easily, there would be no safeguards left with the workers. Also, this will make harder for the workers to negotiate better terms and wages with the employers. Strikes are going to be more difficult with strict provisions on notice period and harsh penalties for defaulters. By giving more flexibility to the employers, the number of permanent jobs would decrease and the contractualization of the workforce would increase. Finally, coming to the appraisal part of labor reforms. So, there was an all-round acknowledgement that there is a need for strong reforms in the archaic and inflexible labor law regime in India. Certainly, some of the proposed changes are progressive as it would improve the ease of doing business index in India. However, one needs to be very cautious and need to ensure that the welfare of the workers is not compromised. There is a need to balance the interest of both enterprises and workers. So with growth, one needs to also focus on the quantity and quality of employment generation. Further, the reforms in the labor market should be fair and composite deal for both. Any sustainable solution could be reached only when there is a trust factor between the employers, workers and the union. For this, the government needs to make its intent very clear to all the stakeholders. Considering all the above factors, we need to create more work opportunities for ourselves, which will definitely benefit labor, business units and Indian economy at large. So this was all for today's session, Labor Laws and Emerging Reforms in India. I hope you have liked it. For more videos, please like, share, subscribe and comment. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day.